Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Authentic AI Insights, where pros discuss their journey. As we know, many people are still afraid of AI. What's your take on it? Welcome to the show, Embracing AI, Overcoming Fears, and Embracing the Benefits, where we will talk with some thought leaders around the world to provide actionable resources and fascinating stories around AI and how AI and its use has changed the world of wellness entrepreneurs for the better or for worse. I am Gerry Daniel, AI expert and co-founder of the AI Wellness Universe, together with Dr. Christine Sauer. Today, I'm very pleased to have Elaine Johnson with me. Welcome to the show. Elaine, I know
Thank
you
you.
from being in the same group of AI enthusiasts, and we are grateful that you have chosen to bring your experience and story of AI and traumatic brain injury to us. To start, please tell us a bit about yourself and your story.
For me, I'm currently rediscovering myself. In fact, I've been rediscovering myself for the last 5 years. We had an auto accident, and I got the TBI in the auto accident. And because of that, life has never been quite the same since that day. And I knew it was going to be different because when I woke up in the hospital, um, it felt different. But it took several days before I realized that um, I had a different name on my wrist. And it was when someone was giving me some medication and they were asking Carolina if she could tell them her name, that I realized that there was a big problem. And the wristband, and I actually kept it. It said Carolina trauma because the nurse, she explained to me, because I was freaking a little bit, um, that the Carolina stands for car and trauma stood for the type of patient that I was. And so because of that, sometimes I just take on that pseudonym, and I am Carolina trauma.
Wow.
And so I have what I'm doing with AI is helping myself to rediscover myself through blogging. And I'm doing that under the name of Carolina Trauma. So, a lot of times people don't quite understand what a TBI is. And one of the reasons that I'm here today is that I want to reach out to other TBI survivors. And I also want to be able to explain what this is like for individuals that don't know. And I do have to say that it is a different experience for every individual. So what I'm going to be sharing today is simply my story. Um, so, so you guys know, as already mentioned, we had an accident. I was at the hospital. I ended up being there for a week. And then I ended up being in a nursing facility for another 3 weeks. And then I was discharged sooner than I should have been because I passed with flying colors every single test that the physical therapists and the occupational therapists would come in and do to determine if I had a brain injury. It turned out that my brain injury had to do with execution. And they were simply asking me questions like, what year is it? And who's the president? And, how am I feeling? Questions that I can answer because they're knowledge based, and that part of my brain was still okay. But when I needed to make decisions, that's when there was an issue. And I realized that I was having problems with decisions while I was in the nursing facility, but I thought that I couldn't make decisions because I wasn't at home and I didn't have my desk and I didn't have my computer and I had this stressful environment and I just wanted out. So I convinced them. And and that was probably a mistake. It took 6 months, and when this short-term disability was saying, "What's your return to work date?" And I knew that I couldn't return to work. If I returned to work, I would be fired immediately because I couldn't function. So these are some of the days of the life that I experienced.
Wow, Elaine, thank you so much for sharing. That's quite a story there. Um, so, what have you done so far to help yourself feel better?
Well, what I have done, you know, I knew that I needed to get back to work. And this is probably going to be the first time anybody has heard this, but our car accident happened right before the pandemic. And I was at home stressing that I needed to be at work and I couldn't be there. And so when everybody got sent home, I was happy because I thought, oh goodness, I'm going to get some extra time to recover. And then when everyone goes back to the office, I'll go back to the office too, because I still was completely oblivious as to the magnitude of what a TBI is. And so I thought that I was going to be able to recover quickly. And so I immediately converted my home into an office so that I could relearn how to do my job. And I started acting as if I was at work. One thing that I should have mentioned is I ended up in that nursing home so they could teach me how to walk again. So not even that made me understand how long the recovery process was going to be because I'm very optimistic and I am one of those unicorns that loves to work.
Speaking of that, what were you doing for work at the time, Elaine?
At the time, I was an executive assistant for the Merck Research Laboratory, supporting a team of executives and their groups um, in the biology group. And so I did have and this is exactly why we're getting to the point again of why I'm here, because I instantly didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want anyone to get a new impression of me that was going to hinder my marketability or their faith in me being able to support anyone. And so I had talked with my lead, and the description she had of me was that I was loopy, and I didn't want anybody else to feel like that. So that started a long process of self-isolation, and I would not talk to my coworkers, and I wouldn't talk to anyone that I felt could impact my ability to have a functioning life in the future.
Wow, I admire your tenacity and how you approached getting back to work, trying to get back to work. That's fascinating. And I can really appreciate your determination and you're doing so great. About how long ago was this did this injury take place?
It was 5 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah, so it was in October of 2019, and I have not been back to work one day since then. And so I am at the point of in my own recovery journey where um, I needed to, come to grips with that. And I needed to, and one of the things that I did was, I was in a pretty high level role that I had learned my way into. I'm a lifelong learner, and I had taken a lot of executive leadership trainings. And so part of my treatment plan was that I was supposed to be in a learning environment so that I could get my brain to relearn everything. And that is part of the synapses reconnecting and recovery coming. It's a slow process, um, but it has been working. I have relearned a lot of my executive leadership skills. But what I'm finding is that there's still this memory issue. So I learned something today, and I still need to relearn it again next week. you know. So it's been an iterative process. Life is an iterative process now. And because of that, and because I've always been heavily into high tech, I was sharing a little bit about my age, but when I started working, there were no computers in the office. And so I leaned in very heavily way back when in the very first round of computers, and I was always on the cutting edge. And so with I saw that as an opportunity for me to continue that trend of how I operate, and I want to be on the cutting edge. So, so I've been trying to augment my TBI deficiencies by using AI. And I do believe that I have found some things that can help other people with TBIs as well. And I want to be able to not only share that, but I mentioned early on that I should be, going to like group counselings, and I haven't found one, or I meant to mention that if I hadn't. And so I'm looking for individuals that are also not able to find those supports that they need. And I want to start a peer support group so that we can just connect and have people to talk to that understand what's going on. And I would like to learn from other TBI survivors what they're doing so that, maybe I can get some tips from them, and then I can share with them what I'm doing for myself.
That's amazing, Elaine. I love that you're trying to help others. How are you using AI to support TB survivors today?
Well, I'm using it right now only for myself. So I'm my case study.
Awesome. Do you have
Yeah.
plans to take it to a wider audience?
Well, I think that will naturally happen. I think there's probably other people doing that as well because, sometimes, we don't have ideas that other people don't have already, right? So I think there's probably a group of individuals in this world with TBIs that are using AI, and I want to find my tribe.
That's awesome. And that's kind of what we're all trying to do here at the AI Wellness Universe is bring people together. People
Yeah.
like you that need to find others that are experiencing the same challenges. So
Uh,
it's awesome that we can spread the word. I love that, Elaine.
uh, yes.
How can we help you spread your message?
Well, I love the platform. The wellness universe just speaks to my heart because I am a sci-fi enthusiast. And so I love the idea of being in my private wellness spaceship. And so I've already started creating a meeting room for my tribe that is in a spaceship. And so I'm hoping to find others that might be sci-fi enthusiasts and want to have a little fun in life as well.
I love that, Elaine. You have such amazing energy. And I love your background. It's fascinating. I'm just
I
looking at
made
it and
that with AI. That is the library for our TBI space.
oh, it looks great. Great job. You're doing so well with the AI. I love it.
Thank you. What happens with the AI, with the photos that you can do, and it's a very creative process. So it's a little bit of art therapy.
Yeah, definitely. And it's fun. It's fun to create. You mentioned you were a sci-fi enthusiast. What's your favorite sci-fi novel or movie?
Oh, well, I I struggle with knowing whether or not I'm a Star Wars or a Trekkie. So, I was a child when Star Wars came out, and that was a big deal, going to the movie with mom and watching the words go up the screen. And I have in my career created a presentation where I had the words going up the screen. So I think I'm going to have to side on the side of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's a tough choice there. I know I'm a fan of both as well. And yeah, that's awesome that you use that. I love that.
Yeah. In fact, that's giving me an idea. Maybe I'll have to do that for our um, our peer support group.
That's a great idea. I think that would really get some good attention there. People love that, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's an amazing story, Elaine. I'm so grateful that you're here sharing it with us.
Yeah. So I last night, because today's my birthday, and I
Oh,
actually,
happy birthday. Oh, thank you for sharing with us. That's awesome.
yeah, I wanted to be with you on my birthday because this is a tremendous step for me, stepping out into the public view and talking about my TBI. And so this is marking a change. And so last night I created the blog. And since it was like the wee hours of the morning, the blog is about where did my sleep go? And I did some research about, I've been having a really difficult time where I have a nighttime routine and I can't make myself do it. And then I don't get the rest I need, which is a downhill slope from there. Um, and when I did the research last night, it is actually something that's very common for people with TBIs. So it made me feel a little less crazy. And now I've got that nugget to share with other TBI survivors.
Excellent.
So the
Well, as
blog,
you,
I should give you guys the address. It is blog.tbijourneyblog.com. I thought it would just be TBI Journey blog, but then I learned, in posting it up that I needed to have the blog in front as well. So
well, that's great. I can't wait to check it out. As you know, we provide event management on our platform. So we are here to help you get this message out and bring people in and share your story. And we are just so happy to have you with us. You are just glowing and you have such a beautiful, radiant smile. It just really pops off the screen, Elaine.
thank you. Thank you. So I'm looking forward to this next chapter of my journey.
Yes, how exciting. I'm looking forward to being a part of it with you. And it's going to be great to just grow together and learn as much as possible using AI.
Yeah. I yeah, thank you. I think it's just a true blessing to have found Dr. Christine and this platform, and it just resonates with me deeply. So thank you so much.
Awesome, Elaine. Thank you so much for being here. It was great to hear everything, and I can't wait to check out your blog. And hopefully, we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, we'll launch the TBI support group right from here with your event management. I'm excited about that.
I am too. And it's going to be, we have exciting times ahead, and I look forward to everything we're going to do together. It was
Okay.
great being with you today, Elaine.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This was another episode of our Authentic AI show and podcast with Elaine Jackson. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to the show so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you.